Good morning, everybody. It's Jen. Today I thought we could do some art. So art doesn't have to make sense. The children's art doesn't have to make sense to us adults, as long as it makes sense to the child or the person who's making it. Children don't care necessarily if their art looks like something to us. They just care about what they want to do, the process. That's what process art is. It's the process of doing the art. It's not the outcome of the art. So the children, we want them to be creative, to think on their own and, come up with some creative ideas all by themselves. So as a teacher, I try not to throw in any of my ideas. And so quite often when we're doing art at daycare, you'll find that my house is a big mess because each child wants to find their own art. It could be gluing, cutting, painting, drawing, coloring, sparkles, and there will be paint, glue, sparkles all over the place, stickers, because the children just want to pick their own thing to do. They want to be creative, and every day they're going to have a different creative mind probably. And every child is an individual and has their own creative mind. So what I do is I keep some scraps around. I don't throw out paper once it's been a little bit used. I keep some of the scraps around. This is just some, I don't know what you call this. It was some ribbon or whatever, and it's sparkly and it's got like little sequences on it. And the children think it's really pretty. So sometimes we like to just cut up some of this. And don't forget, guys, if you're doing art with me, you need your children's safety scissors, just like Jen has. And we think that they won't cut much, but just trying to move a little closer so you can see me. It's cutting this ribbon, this sequence ribbon. So, see, it makes a mess. It just kind of flies all over the place and makes a mess. So I let the children either cut it up on their own. They like to try. Or if they really need help, I get them to ask a friend or a brother or a sister, older sibling. And then last resort, I try to help them. But I like them to learn to ask for help on their own, like a peer or a sibling. Okay, so then the children might want to cut up some paper. So I'm just going to cut up a few pieces here so you can see me. I don't know if you can see me okay or not. There we go. The kids, if they cut up their own, can just be random pieces, just like that. Sometimes they'll just do this. That's okay. It's just the process of learning how to hold the scissors. Sometimes they'll cut like this when they're first learning. That's okay, just as long as they learn about how the scissors work, how to be safe with them, not putting their fingers in there. So obviously when they're really little, they need your help or your supervision. As they get a little bit older, with the child safety, they're a little bit better on their own. If you want to work on shapes with them or colors, you can always cut your paper into shapes for them if you're doing the cutting. Don't push. I wouldn't push the shapes and colors on them just as you're doing art or as you're playing. I kind of just try to sort of throw that in there, Oh, look, you've got a pink triangle, or you have a rectangle, or, if they already know their colors or are learning their colors, you have an orange rectangle. But I like to work on one thing at a time. So you could just say, you have a rectangle, okay? Or you have an orange shape. This is orange. So whatever you're working on, whether it be colors or shapes, I find these kids love stickers. So you can point at it and say, look, you have a pink oval. Are you putting your pink oval on your paper? So as you're doing art with them, that's how I teach them, is I like to talk to them each individually. So right now I'm gonna put my pink oval on my black paper, okay? And that's how we work with our colors. So let's do that. Let's put our pink, and then peeling the stickers on their own. I like to get them to try to do that because they're using their small motor skills, their fingers, to kind of scrape it and pinch it and pull it off. And this gets them ready for writing. okay, before they start writing their letters in kindergarten. And then holding the sticker, learning like which side is sticky, how to put it on. A lot of my babies like to put it upside down and they don't understand why it's not sticking. And they sometimes get frustrated, but it's fun to watch them. And then as they start to get frustrated, I'll ask an older friend or sibling to kind of help out. So I'm putting my pink oval on my paper. Oh, look, I have a small blue oval. I'm gonna put that on my paper. Blue. So you can tell them blue, this is blue. Or this is an oval. You're putting an oval on your paper. Yay, good job. Look at you sticking all that on your paper. So that's what we do for art. So I'm doing some art today. I got a green square. I'm just gonna, normally I do one at a time, but I have different ages that might be watching. So I'm gonna kind of just sort of add it all. So green square, it's a sticker, it's sticky. And put it on your paper. See, just like that. Oh, look, it's yellow. See guys? I have a yellow square. You wanna see the difference? This is a rectangle and this is a square. See? Rectangle has longer sides and then a shorter sides. And a square has all shorter sides. They're the same. These are different, but these square sides are the same. Okay? So I'm gonna stick on my rectangle. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I'm gonna stick on my yellow square. See? Stick that on. So there's some stickers, okay, that I got out today. I thought that would be fun. And another thing I got out is some beads. I know my daycare kids love, to glue beads on their art. Beads don't have to just be for making necklaces or putting string in. You can use some glue. Whoa, look at the glue. See that? You can even make designs with your glue. Move it all around. Woo, see? And then you can stick, I'll show you my art after I stick my beads on. So I have a green bead. See, so you can kind of play with colors with the beads. Oh, look, you're putting a green bead on or a yellow bead. Good job. I really like how you're sticking your beads on your glue. Good work. There we go. So far, guys, this is my art so far. Doesn't look like anything in particular, but I really like all those colors I used. And the glue. Hi, Cleo. I like how I put the glue all over the paper to stick stuff on. Good job, Jen. And then remember, I just cut up some of this, right? With my child safety scissors. So here's Cleo. Excuse me, Cleo. Cleo, come on over here. Sorry, Cleo's in the way. Come here, Cleo. Come here. Why don't you eat your breakfast? Come here. Eat your breakfast and have a drink of water. Okay? Right. I'm back. So here's my blue sequence ribbon that I just cut up with my child safety scissors. And I'm gonna stick some of this on my glue. There we go. Maybe some more beads, maybe another blue circle sticker. Hi, Cleo. There. And oh, remember I cut up a pink triangle out of my scrap paper. And then also just some random pieces. Okay, let's stick those on my glue. There we go. Now, also another thing, the first step before children learn how to cut is ripping. They like to rip. Sometimes I do ripping when I do my scrapbooking. Okay, there's a technique called ripping, okay? Children will rip before they want to cut, okay? That's why some children will rip pages out of books. So I try not to get them in trouble. I just say, you know, books are for reading. We have to be gentle. Turning the page gentle. We don't rip it. Gentle. Okay, but if you'd like to rip, here's a piece of paper. You can rip this. Here you go. You know, and you just kind of show them what is okay to rip, because ripping is a natural process of learning about art and cutting, and it's good for their small motor skills as well. I mean, when you really think about it, sometimes it can be kind of hard, depending on how you do it, to rip something. So, I mean, just show them what they can rip, maybe make it part of an art one day if they seem to be interested in that, and let them do a little ripping of paper. Okay, I just had some scrap felt sitting around the house for art. This is all stuff that I just put in bins for the kids. And your child safety scissors will cut the felt. Now, it might be harder for the kids to cut it, might be easy. It's up to each child, but it will cut the felt. So the child safety scissors, you can give them a piece of felt and just let them go crazy cutting felt. It's good to try cutting different things, because cutting felt is definitely different than, say, cutting a piece of paper, okay? One will be harder, it's a different feeling, and kids will learn by how things feel, okay? Different textures, different feeling when you're cutting. So you can let the child or children cut their own felt up, whatever way they want. The older children might pretend the green felt is grass or tree leaves. Younger children will literally just stick it on their glue. Sometimes they won't even have glue, and you'll have to remind them, oh yeah, or they'll learn. You know, what some of them do is they'll put a sticker without peeling it or without putting it on glue on their paper, okay? I don't know if you can see this, but I put the orange sticker here on my paper. Then they lift it up and it falls off, okay? And then they'll be like, oh no, it didn't stick. It fell off. That's the way they learn. Then they put it on the glue and they realize, oh, there, it sticks. So children will learn through the process, through their process art. So that's just some different art techniques, okay? You have stickers, you have scissors for cutting, scrap paper, scrap ribbon, glue if you want. I tried to teach, the kids, I tried to encourage them to put the lid back on. Twisting the lid on and off is really good for their small motor skills. And then as they get older, it teaches them how to be responsible cleaning up their art stuff so the glue doesn't dry out. Same with the markers. You hear the snap of the marker lid, you gotta put that back on, okay? Some of my babies, they don't even wanna do art. They will literally just play with the glue lid. They'll take it on and try and put it back on, or take it off and then try and put it back on. That's okay, they're learning. They're using their small motor skills. They're learning how to put it back on. It won't necessarily go on properly. They twist it, that's how they learn. You can get a black piece of paper, such as what I have here, and some chalk. Chalk does not have to be for the chalkboard. I don't know if any of you remember doing chalk art on paper when you were younger. You can get any color. I find that black, sometimes you can notice all the colors on black a little bit better. So I got my pink chalk if the children are playing. And you can say, oh, look at your pink chalk. That's such a pretty color. And then they will draw with it on their paper. See? There you go. I did a couple of lines, okay? You can talk about what you see that are drawing. Ooh, you drew a straight line, okay? Or if they're just kind of doing this, what we call scribbling, that's okay. That's their art. And they kind of go around in circles. Then you say, wow, look, you just did some circles. Wow, I like your circles. So yeah, there's my art for today. So you can also get out the regulars like markers and crayons. It's good to let them, experiment with both. Excuse me. Markers, you can press lightly and then you'll still get the ink out. Crayons, pencil crayons, you have to press a little harder. They're smaller to hold for their small motor skills. They have to press a little harder. And so that's good for them to experiment with all different kinds. Markers, crayons, pencil crayons. If they're in a safe place and you're watching them, you can even give them a pen or a pencil and watch them with it. If the children draw with the chalk on the table by accident, it washes off. I just get a wet cloth, wash it off. Most stuff washes off if it's child safety stuff, washable. And I mean, the pen and our kind of markers won't wash off, or a pen, but if they're drawing with their markers, you know, painting with their paint, most of that should be non-toxic. It should be, you know, washable with just a little soap and water. So, you know, depending on what you give them for art, you sit with them, you play with them, tell them, you know, talk about what they're doing. And that's the way they learn. They learn by telling you about what they're doing. You can, you know, open-ended questions are always great, you know. Well, can you tell me what you're doing right now? And they might say, oh, I'm drawing with my chalk. Or, you know, you might learn a lot from your kids by asking them, you know, oh, so what are you doing now? I'm putting my sticker on my paper. Oh, do you know what shape that is? Yes, no, you know, they'll answer you. Yes, I know what shape it is, or yes. And then if they don't completely answer your whole question, then that's another question you can ask. Well, then what shape is it? What color is it? What shape is it? Instead of you telling them, it's great to ask depending on what age they are, right? I mean, usually I'm not going to start out with, like, I know my daycare kids and I know what they know from playing with them. But if I have a new child coming to me and they're 3, you know, I'm not going to say right away, oh, you have a red square. I'm going to ask them, oh, do you know what shape that is? And then if they say yes, then they'll say yes. They may say, yes, it's a red square or a square. They might say, I don't know. Then you can say, well, what do you think? Try. What do you think? And if they say, oh, it's a circle, then you can just say, it's a red square. It's a square, whatever. You don't have to say the red. I'm doing it out of habit. But if you're working on shapes, just work with the shapes. If you're working on colors, like I said, just work with the colors. So here is my art today, everybody. See? This is a process art. I just kind of played with it and checked out to see what worked and what didn't work. And I made something that I think is very beautiful, and maybe hang it up on the fridge or the wall because I'm proud of it. Okay? And as the children get bigger, older siblings, maybe who are in school already, you know, they might draw a tree. So they might get the green chalk or a green marker and draw a tree. Okay? They might draw the sun and this is kind of an orange peach color. I don't seem to have yellow in here. Oh, yeah, I do actually. It looks kind of white. There's yellow. So, you know, they might draw a sun. Some of my little daycare kids now are getting a little older, like Bridget and Kaya. And so I'll show them how shapes might make something. Ooh, you made a circle. Good job. You know, if you add a few lines there, you could make a sun. Or I just like to show them if I'm doing art beside them. I really like doing my own art beside them, and I'll do a circle if I notice them doing circles, and just sort of show by modeling. Oh, look, I drew a circle. Well, if I do a couple of lines here, and it's kind of like I'm talking to myself, and then they'll watch and they'll listen. They're always watching. They're always listening. And I'm just talking to myself about my art, and they will learn. Instead of you telling them what to do, you can do your own. And just sort of model, you know, a few different things if you like. But I really do like to watch the children become creative on their own and do their own thing. So this was our art session for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed watching and you like my art. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Have fun with art if you do art today.